Great to have everyone here this morning, another Thursday here at Talking All Things Books. I am Dr. Annette West. I am also Dr. Annette Publishing Pusher for those who have heard the podcast. You may be an author and you would like to talk about your book or your kingdompreneurship. Reach out to me at Jatne, JATNE publishing.org so we can get you on the podcast. It's exciting that I do the podcast myself on Spotify, but I also have my podcast on the Christian Power Network with Jerry Royce. And it was nice to see the little shout out they gave me of hitting my 50th episode on their network. So this is a good thing. Sometimes it can be cumbersome trying to do so many things at one time. So I am going to halt my Dr. Annette Publishing Pusher because I'm just replicating content. And so Jerry has the music and everything. So all I have to do is these talking all things, just send them over to him and title them and give them a synopsis. And then he can post them as fit on the network. So even though I'm on the 50th episode for the network, I am on the 128th episode on my own podcast platform. So what that means is, even though I will not be adding any more podcasts to my own network, it's still available. This is the wonderful thing. The content is evergreen, so people can go back and listen whenever. And I tend to get an influx after I have stopped doing something and people start running there looking at things. So I like to say that even though we may be stepping back from something, it doesn't mean that you won't come back to it. So I've come back to my own podcast 3 times, I think it has been. And we haven't skipped a beat because there's always so many other things to do when you're not doing that particular thing. So the Lord always has a plethora, as they say, of things for us to accomplish. So we just have to be focused to do what we need to do in the time that we need to get it done, and reminding ourselves that we cannot do everything. Because as we get excited about what we're doing, we're going to keep seeing all of these other elements and all of these other pieces that we could grab. But I found that I get confused with so many pieces in front of me at one time, then I have to step back and go to the drawing board and start again because I become overwhelmed. So it's very easy to do. So Miss Anna, what's going on?
Thank you for asking. Some of you are familiar with the National Council of Teachers of English. I'm a member of that organization, and so each year, usually in December or January, they ask us to arrange a time at a local school or library to have what they call an African American read-in. And so I've been invited to do this at one of our local middle schools. And this time, instead of just going back and doing history of people that the kids may have heard about a long time, this time we're doing artists and musicians. And some of you are familiar with Ecclesiastes 3, A Time for Every Purpose. There's a couple, Leo and Diane Dillon, who created a picture book, but their artwork is styles of art around the world. And so they're telling a story, as in case it's a mixed race couple, but they're telling a story that lets us know that we're dependent and we're part of the human race. But what is really fun is that I've been doing the poetry to music, or some people call them the lyrics, of Stevie Wonder's song Sir Duke, where he honors the men and women, black and white, who influenced his music. And it was chosen primarily because I'm working with 6th and 7th graders, and Stevie Wonder started performing when he was a sixth grader, and he's blind. And so we get into bring in the fact that you can disability doesn't mean you have no ability. You just have different abilities. And because the students tend to bring cell phones to class with them, they have to research the 5 W's and H about these 5 influencers. Who are they? When they were born, where they were born, what they do, why they are famous, and what they did outside of music to influence and impact African American history. So that's what I'm doing this week. And if you are interested in the slide decks that I use for that, just put a note in the chat and I'll be glad to send them along.
Nice,
Thank you.
nice. Great to have resources to help us on our journey. Angela has her note taker taking notes for her today. Um, so I'm not sure if she's going to make it in or not. I wanted to talk a little bit today about AI, artificial intelligence, and publishing, opportunities and challenges. You know, as we are in this world, we notice that things are always developing, and some things seem to be developing very fast. A lot of movement. And I think being able to understand AI and how it has and will even more transform the publishing industry. So we need to be very watchful and know what is going on. It is said that there are great benefits to writing, editing, marketing, but there's also ethical considerations involved in utilizing AI assisted publishing. Now, I don't have all the answers. I am studying up on things as I go along each week, but as I have content, I would like to come and share it because the publishing landscape is going to develop even more. There's going to be lots of different tools available for authors, editors, marketers. And so understanding that the purpose of AI is supposed to enhance efficiency and creativity. There is, many ethical concerns as to the way that some people are being taught to utilize it, um, that may have some negative and or detrimental outcomes. Comment, Miss Anna?
I'm laughing because one of the authors with whom I'm working has used AI quite a bit in various portions of the publication. And sometimes, in order to expand a section of the manuscript, just put in some code words and come up with a list of something.
Yes.
And the other one was creating the book cover, very sophisticated. And so that may impact the way our coaching business works in terms of assisting them with developing book covers. The main thing is times they are using so much AI that they're losing their voice. You can almost tell in the manuscript when this particular writer starts inputting AI generated content versus the writing this author is doing themselves. And so just letting them know that AI is a nice research tool, but it often neutralizes the voice of the individual author. And that's what we're finding, that this person is going on and finding templates, but they don't work together. And so it's many times we're using our coaching time to unwind what this author thought was advancing the project. So we're going to keep listening to you for the kinds of things that work and the kinds of things that create more work.
For sure. So as we looking at this AI, you know, like Miss Anna say, use it to gain some fresh ideas, but don't use it to write your story. You can use AI to assist you. So I'll tell you one of the ways that I used AI. I went on and I was like, I want to write a book and I want to talk about this particular theme. Give me 12 possible chapter titles, not the content for the chapters, just chapter titles. Now, am I going to use those chapter titles the way they gave them to me? No. I'm going to look at them. First, I'm going to see, okay, does this make sense? Okay, how could I reword this that it is my own and that it is not Chat GPT? So Chat GPT can be used to create some ideas. I remember I was writing a letter for this company and I had already written a letter. And I was like, I know this can be written better. So I uploaded my letter into Chat GPT and I said, I would like to fine tune this. And it was too long. I would like to fine tune this down to X amount of words. So it fine tuned it down to X amount of words. Did I just use it? No, I read back through it, looked to see how much of it was my own. I still did the um, um, AI check to see how much of it was AI and not my own words. And I ran that because it's in my program, right? So use what's in your program. Just like we would check for plagiarism, we need to check for AI use as well. So I will recheck, even though I might have gotten some content and a further, thought. So AI can assist us in structuring our chapters, helping us with themes, helping us with characters. I remember I was doing something and I wanted to know, like, what were they talking about 15 years ago? So I went to AI and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about this topic. What topics related to this in, 20, whatever it was? And I got a very interesting list. And then I went back and I said, give me at least two references with each one. And then I went and I looked at the references to see if they were viable to what I wanted to talk about and to utilize. So that was, one way, you could be working with a character and you have some content already and you're looking for a particular thought. And you could say, my character is such and such, and he's doing this, but I need to add one more element or I need to add two more elements. And then you can look at those elements to see if they're a good fit for what you're doing, how they could fit, how you could rewrite them to align them, but not using it verbatim. We know that most of us know that Chat GPT is easily available. You can use it for free or you can pay for the upgrade. I think it's $20 a month. I think it may be worth it. I haven't paid for Chat GPT yet. And I've done well with the free portion of it. There's also one called Pseudo Write. I don't know if you've heard of that. I had not heard of it. I just came across it, but I'll do some research just to check it out. But they say Pseudo Write, Chat GPT can help generate plot twists, character interactions in what you're doing. Comment, Miss Anna?
Just mentioning the fact that we are responsible for what is published under our name. And so it is intellectually responsible for us to verify, as you were saying, you looked it up, you asked for resources, and then you looked at those resources yourself. That's probably going to be the key to keeping our work our work. Just as we in high school used to go to the library and look up books, pull the books off the shelf. Now we're asking Chat JTP to pull them off the shelf. But we're responsible ultimately for the accuracy and the originality of anything that we publish under our own names.
Yeah, so we do have to be mindful of that. I think if we retain the basic rules that we learned in writing and giving credit where credit is due and citing our sources and referencing them, I think we will be fine. If we will do that and not make it seem like it's our content. So I like to challenge myself. So I was a part of this group and we had access to some AI software. So I gave it like a list of things that I wanted to write a book about. And I told it I wanted like 30,000 word manuscript. So I got the 30,000 word actually I got 40,000 word manuscript. So let me tell you my dilemma with that manuscript. When I first started reading it, it sounded really good. But as I progressed through it, I noticed it was saying the same thing, just a different way. Not one or two times, but many times. And then my mind was saying, didn't I already read this? Didn't I already read this? So I got my highlighter, on the screen, and I started highlighting things with different colors that were the same things that had already been said. And then it was like I gave my characters names, just created some names. At some point, their names changed. So somebody who decides that, hey, I'm going to write a book with AI, yay, I'm great. But Mary now becomes Lucy. Mark now becomes James. You started out with 2 kids, now you have 5 kids, but nowhere in between did you have any pregnancies. Your dilemma is one thing, but then your dilemma becomes something else, and there's no connection between it. So I don't want to say people are putting out some garbage, but I'm going to say people are putting out some garbage, okay? Let me just be honest, as to what can happen. It's easily and readily available. However, if you don't put in the work. Now, could I go back and rewrite that whole story? I could. Am I? No way. I am not. It would take me, I would have to, I don't know how I would have to dig to write it the right way because it's too many wrong ways in the story. What say you, Miss Anna?
Ditto. Maybe even Trito. We are responsible. And one of the ways that this can be done efficiently is using that read aloud function on many of our word platforms. And like you said, all of a sudden you hear something that doesn't feel right. And that's what content editors have been doing for years. But if we don't take time and do that step, we may end up publishing that's something that sounds good in the beginning, but by the time it gets to the end, it's a completely different story. And there is no backtracking to fix it up. So, ditto, do it ourselves.
I was on a platform, I guess it's been a week now, and I was listening to the dialogue, and there was probably about 300 people on the Zoom session. And I was reading the chat as people were making comments. And I saw somebody ask the question, or they made a statement that came with a question. And they said, yeah, I've completed my book. I've run it through AI. I think it's good. However, how do I determine what editor to give the book to? And the person that was leading the discussion said, if you went to school and you graduated from high school, you know how to edit your work and you don't have to pay anybody to edit your work. That's what they said. So I posted in the screen. I said, there are some simple things that we really can use, to be honest. I said, you know, whatever program you're using already has an editor in it. Using Word or whatever, it already has an editor in it. Okay, you can track whatever you're doing in it. I said, then you can go to Grammarly. You can use the Grammarly for free, but you can pay for a month of Grammarly Pro to take you through your document and look at different things. And I said, there's Pro Writing Aid, there's Atticus, there's other things beyond that that you can use as well, which are some of the tools that an editor may be using in conjunction with their keen eye. So I said, I'm not saying that you have to get an editor, but I'm saying I think it would behoove you to still have an editor, because 99% of the time we are too close to our work. We've looked at it so much that we are assured that it is done, it is did, and it is perfect, and we are deceiving ourselves. So, my comment didn't get no comments. It got some likes, but the people that was running it, that were reading all the comments, they skimmed right over it. But it didn't matter, because they were saying some things and I was going like this, like I was thinking, no, this is not right. But sometimes we get into these platforms, and I think we can't run away from the platforms, because it's good to know what people are saying, and it's good to be able to know that you know something. So I know when I go on these platforms, and I don't think I am the expert. I think I know a lot, but I think there's a whole lot more that I can learn. But I find that they don't really want your voice. But it is okay, because if I post it in the chat, they can't remove it, and everybody gets to see it anyway. So that's just, you know, food for thought. Jerry, how you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can. How you doing in the red
Great.
room?
Yeah, we're in here grinding. Yeah, getting it done. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Sorry I haven't been here for a
That's
minute,
okay. That's okay.
but we
The
good. We
videos are
good.
the videos are always available.
That's right. That's right. And catch it on the podcast as well, right?
Listen, they talked about that at the beginning of the show. That is correct.
That's right.
You know,
Sounded
always
good too.
was it Christian Power Network? Come on, tell us what it is.
Well, it's under the brand of Jerry Voice Live Worldwide Podcast, but because that's my handle. But it is under the company of Positive Power WXI Studios, which is, you know, our umbrella for everything we do in television and radio
Gotcha.
and publishing now and publishing. Got to
Okay.
add that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All
Very good.
right.
Very good. So
Yeah.
we're talking today, Jerry, some about AI and publishing,
Yeah, man.
because
Gotta love it.
it's not going anywhere. So we need to learn as much as we possibly can about this, so that when we use it, and we will use it,
Oh,
that we
yeah.
that we use it effectively for efficient outcomes. Yes.
That's right. And I'm glad you're talking about it because all the big corporations are using it, and it won't be long before government be using it. And it's been around for a long time. Finding out it's been around since like 2013, 2014. And even one of my friends who's been in IT said it may go back even earlier than that, because their houses, the systems are housed in warehouses. And look, I was about that. Look, I was driving with my son, and he asked me something. I said, "Oh, why don't you ask Chat GPT?" He said, "Nah, not for something like that because they use up a lot of water." He was like, "They use up a lot of water." So I had to go back and look that up, and he was right. They use a lot of water to keep those servers cool. I said, "Why they don't use fans or air conditioner or whatever?" But
Hey, I never heard that, but that's interesting.
yeah, I say for every email or whatever you use it for, it's a bottle of water.
Wow.
I know. I said, look, I'm paying for it, so I'm using it. That's their problem. It's California's problem.
Yeah, well, we are learning, we are learning some things, that Chat GPT is not a bad thing in and of itself. It's everything is about how people use it.
That's right.
We can choose to use it to build up, or we can use it in ways that, are destructive, but it's our choice. And if we use it the wrong way, we may have to answer. Somebody might be looking for us.
That's right. And it's a lot of them out there now too. You just have to find the one that you feel most comfortable with, and depending on what you're doing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
using it for math equations or writing or whatever you're using it for, building a business. I know my neighbor, he uses it. He uses it for shooting some ideas out for scaling his business. So you need it for creativity, and it helps when you're stuck. Sometimes you're stuck. You're a writer and you have no idea what you want to write about. So much noise out here now. I mean, it's way more noise than ever now. Crazy noise. So you're going to get distracted, and it's going to affect your life. For me, when my team got knocked out of the playoffs, I was in a wreck. Creativity wasn't there, but at the same time, I think my frequency was so low that I was actually kind of sick because we got a lot of different viruses traveling around now, and you never know, your body is fighting one off. It may slow you down, and it just means you need rest. So I went out there to some of the programs and told them what I was feeling, because I used one on my Apple Watch, and it kind of tells you that you need to either push it or slow it down. Everyone knows how you're feeling. So you have to look at your scale, see where you are, because we're like a machine, just living cells.
Mm-hmm.
Energy does deplete. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what you're trying to do, I don't care how many supplements you're pumping and how much water you're drinking, you're gonna hit that ceiling. And sometimes just means, and it also depends on what else you're taking into your mental, so be careful.
Yep. Yep. That is
Yeah.
true. That is.
Yeah. All right. Glad to see everybody doing well. And I haven't forgotten everybody. Right now we're pushing this new network, our new live stream. I love it. I love all the pieces of it, and it looks good visually, and it sounds excellent. Can't do no better than that. So our search has ended with the company that we're using now. So we're going to stay with them as long as they are floating. But you can still access everyone's channel out on Spreaker Radio. So you can always go out to our Facebook page, Jerry West Live, or to our website, theweekendchannel.tv. And you can check out everything that we're doing under this umbrella. Thank you. Thank you,
He,
Dr. West.
he's doing a lot. Yes, yes, yes. I just listened to the 10:30 message this morning before I came in here. So that
Yeah,
was that
that was
was
a good
good.
one.
That was
Yeah, that was
good.
a good one. Yeah, that was
The unsung hero.
That's right. And then what we
Good.
do, y'all, is Christian talk. So if you're a creator out there and you're looking for a platform to help people, keep people encouraged, inspired, or even motivate yourself, or you don't have a ministry, you'd like to build a ministry, it's all here, y'all. It's all right here. It's already built for you. Just need to bring in some good content. We'd be happy to work with you. Glory. Glory to God.
Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Anna.
I do have a question for you, Jerry. When you say have some good content, how many programs or sessions do you suggest we have available before we come to you?
Well, you can come to us with zero. I mean, as long as you have a topic and you're ready to broadcast your first podcast. We do have quite a bit of people who come with us who already have content, but you don't have to come on board with content. It don't take but uh, 45 minutes of your time to build content, right?
No, we have to verify according to Dr. Annette. That's what
Yeah.
takes time. All right. I'll be in touch because based on what I'm learning on this particular program and hearing you talk, I have begun to develop some podcasts about how and why I write and how I encourage others to do so. What length do you recommend the pieces be?
Well, our shows could be anywhere from 20 minutes to 45. We usually top out at 45 minutes because we need the 15-minute window for the next show. So,
Mhm.
so we run like PSAs and everything in between. No music on this platform.
Oh, no music? Okay, because
Yeah,
I
we
used to
don't use
start
music.
with
Yeah,
music.
right. You can have an intro that, is provided to you from, from royalty-free companies. But other than that, we don't have the licensing on the podcast like we have on TV.
Okay. All right. I do use public domain music or music that my son has produced.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. As long as you got the
Yeah.
agreement between you and him, because sometimes they do ask, and I'll give you the documents if you need it, so you can have him complete it for you. Okay, so you can have it on hand. All
Will you
right.
send that along and we'll get back to Dr. West's program here.
Yeah, yeah. As
Thank
soon
you,
as we get
This
Jerry.
is
started, hey,
good.
hit me anytime.
Remember, this is talking all things books. So we talking all things books, okay,
That's it.
y'all?
Yeah,
All
I want to
comes
book a
back.
date
That's right.
to have my
See, she gonna
things.
yeah. My
Yeah.
podcast is 45 minutes.
Mm,
On
yeah,
occasion, it might be a few minutes over, but normally it's between 40 to 45 minutes. But like on the television, you don't have as much time on the television network to, yeah, you gotta kind of
you
tighten
could
it
if
up.
you want to buy an hour.
Yeah, I don't want to have to talk that long. So I'm
Yeah, some people can. Yeah, yeah. We had one guy. He gives a really really good lesson, and he had so much content from previous conferences that especially during the pandemic, a lot of people did everything virtual. So he's just repurposing those programs.
I
Yeah,
mean, and that's it. Most of us have had content for years that we've just done it and put it aside, done it and put it aside. So now we're having the opportunity to really pull that content out and refurbish, as they say, um,
that's right.
and
Repurpose it.
expand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'm glad that you guys approached me about the podcast is because one, like I tell ministers, a lot of people are publishing books. But people are swamped with people pushing products on them all day long. Man, that's the noise you get. Me, when I made a decision to take this one guy course, I mean, it sounded good, unbelievable. I said, yeah, I really want to know a lot of us don't understand about credit building. And there's a lot of books out there, but you don't know which one is going to be good for you. Everybody claims to be an expert or just popped up and say, hey, I want to help you, I can help you get rid of your bad credit. So this guy, I went to check him out on Amazon. He went back 13, 14 years in this industry. You have some people that pop up and say, oh, I want to be an engineer. I want to be, I was like, I want to be an author. To me, I have a hard, I got hit so hard with those multi-level marketing businesses for so long. People call me and say, hey man, why don't you come to my meeting? What is it about? No, just come on out, man. Bring your spouse. We're gonna have some food. Next thing you know, oh man, Amway, oh man, they got you. So I think because people got beat up so bad over the years, because they think you can sell anything because I've been floating for so long in this space that people say, oh, he must be successful. Let me bring him over to my business too. Well, he bring his followers. That's what they want. So I go back and look at your digital footprint, and basically that's what so great about podcasting and even YouTube. It gives you a digital footprint. This guy went back like 13 years on Amazon. I was impressed. So I signed up for his class. It was a great class ever. He gave so much stuff free. I learned that industry within like 2, 3 hours. That's how good his stuff was. Hey, I got friends now I give the advice to. It scores up in the 800s now. Surprise. So get that digital footprint. That's what I say. And the best way to do it is through podcasts. And of course, you can't always bet that company going to be around forever. Who knows? But I think Spotify is going to be going strong. Apple's going strong. So we put you on all those platforms. But then I found out with some companies, once they go away, those files go away off of those platforms.
Yeah.
But I think as long as I do provide everybody with their hard, like we have everybody's stuff on hard drives anyway. So if that so happen, we still have your shows that we can put them somewhere.
And there's so much social world that, our stuff is everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
I've had people say, oh, I Googled you, Okay, well, what did you find what you were looking for? I found more than I was looking for. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I
Got
remember my
SoundClouds,
son got
all
out
that.
of the military. He was like, Mom, because he wasn't in the social platform. So he was out of the military, and so he was like, he said, I Googled you, and I couldn't believe that's my mom out there all over the social arena, social platforms. But I'm like, it's good if we're putting out the right content.
That's true.
I had a lady that just said, like, I want to work with you. I've been following you. I don't know this lady from nobody else. I've been following you. I checked out your website. I followed you on Google. I looked at different stuff that you had, so people are looking.
That's right. They want to see if you're legit. If they can trust you. A lot of people have been burned over the years, or like I
And
said,
it's understandable.
yeah, we
Yeah.
got hit, by friends and family to get in those multi-level marketing businesses. So,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not for everybody. So,
Yep. But
all
that's
right.
good. All right, so let's get back to AI before we get ready to close this down because we are only have maybe about 5, 7 minutes, something like that. Okay, so we can use that AI to help us expand on brief ideas, not a whole book, brief ideas. Help us to fill in narrative gaps and also help us to suggest, alternative phrasings in what we are doing. I do like I think I saw like story starters that AI can give you story starters. So if you want to write a story and you give it some basic information, it could give you a story starter. Do you have to use that verbatim? Of course not. It's a story starter. You build from there. Have as I've been looking at different things, I've been coming across a couple of tools that I saw. I haven't looked at them yet, but I saw a couple of tools that said if you are dealing with overcoming writer's block, there's a writer tool, RYTR, and there's also a Write Sonic that provide AI generated text to help authors maintain momentum. So I haven't personally had a need to look at these, but these were a few that I came across. So maybe you're struggling with a particular point in your book, then this could be something that you may want to look at. We talked a little bit about AI in editing. I'm a proponent for Grammarly, Pro Writing Aid, but there are others out there. You have to look at what's most cost effective for you. I bought my Pro Writing Aid, I guess it's been several years now, when they had it 70% off, and I got a lifetime license. They've expanded their licensing content since then, but I've not paid more because I already have a lifetime and I figure everything I need to do that I have been doing, I can do it within the one that I have, and I don't have a reason to spend any more money for an advanced pro writing aid when the one that I have works just fine. So I really like Grammarly, and then I like that upper level of adding pro writing aid to it because we want to work hard to correct our grammatical errors, help us to improve our sentence clarity, and oftentimes suggest, which I really like, suggesting alternative word choices. So we're not beating that one word to death, as they say. And so I really do like it for that. There is some developmental editing, especially in that pro writing aid. It has a lot of elements in it. Then it could take you a little bit of time to get through all of them, but I would highly recommend, if you want to do pro writing aid, that you take the time and go look at everything that they offer in conjunction with your document. You'll be surprised how it can help you to build. So, yes, Miss Anna.
The one thing that I would add to this is when you do your final edit, use one program. Otherwise, you end up having one style in one chapter and another style in another chapter. And so use the programs as you're working on it, but the final edit should be done with one program so that there you have the consistency that will not disrupt or distract from your message.
Yes. So I start out with I use Microsoft Word. So I start out with the editor in Microsoft Word, of course. And then I use the Grammarly Pro. And then I use the Pro Writing Aid. So that's my process. I do have the Atticus program. I've started looking into it. Um, I I bought it, I guess, more than a year ago when it was on sale, and said I'm going to start doing some books in Atticus. And I haven't yet, but I did start one, and it seemed fairly easy to process through. And as I was on a different platform listening to a presentation, it was actually mentioned the use of Atticus as well. So, but Atticus would be a good tool as you are starting your process, because you can write your book in Atticus. You can upload your chapters in Atticus. You can have Atticus to help you to reformat your stuff in Atticus. You can have it review your content in Atticus. So there's quite a bit that goes along with it. And then one other resource that I looked at, I haven't dug into it, is called AutoCrit, AutoCrit. It's an AI-powered tool that compares writing styles to bestsellers and gives suggested improvements. Meaning it can tell you if your flow is too robotic. It can tell you if it's too impersonal based on the parameters you set in. So that's just a few things that I have come across. But I'm going to leave us there so that we can end on time today. So I want to thank everybody for coming in. I appreciate you greatly. I always like to say, we are blessed to be a blessing. And if you serve King Jesus, then you are supposed to be the visible manifestation of his invisible presence. And I will catch you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.